What's going on, guys? Phantasm Mask here, and welcome to Let's Play Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, or Subsistence, whatever you want to call it. In the interest of time, just to cover this right off the bat, for the most part, I will be skipping the majority of cutscenes in this game. Not because of a spoiler alert or anything like that, but because this game could easily be 14 hours long. If I were to show you every cutscene, Konami would probably flag it. I've had that problem in the past with Metal Gear Solid 2 and Peace Walker. So, just bear with me here, and this is more of an LP to show you what is going on, why this game is critically acclaimed gameplay-wise. The story, I can already tell you, it's a fantastic, fantastic game. If you have not played this game, highly recommend it. I've played through the majority of the other Metal Gear games, so playing this is pretty much a necessity at this point. In fact, I've had people ask me why I've played Twin Snakes, 2, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, and not MGS3. I never got around to it. It would have originally was supposed to be done sometime last year, never got around to it, so here we are now, doing it solo, just like Naked Snake here. He's on his own, by himself in the jungle with no backup. All weapons OSP, save for his tranquilizer pistol, which he acquires here in the beginning of the game. This game is split up into two sections, like Metal Gear Solid, 2? Yes, Metal Gear Solid 2 was split up into two sections as well, with a tanker and a plant section. This one is split up with what we're playing now, the Virtuous Mission, and then later Operation Snake Eater. I've played through this game many times, so this shouldn't be too long of a game to play. Let's see. Alright, Flectarn Camouflage. So going into some of the game mechanics here, as I mentioned, going into the camouflage menu. Camouflage is essential in this game. It allows you to... you have to change it frequently, of course, in order to match whatever area you're going into, because you're not always in a forest. You'll wind up being in urban areas, potentially water. There's camouflage for that. And it's a really unique system that I had not quite seen until this game. I'm sure there are other games out there that have something similar, and this system was expanded upon in Metal Gear Solid 4 with the Octo Camo system, which takes out the whole going through your menu to equip the proper camouflage, allows you to put your body up against an object and take the color and texture pattern of that object, allowing you to be camouflaged to that particular surface. It was a cool system, yet somewhat tedious. I prefer the one in Metal Gear Solid 3 more, even though the Octocamo does have more versatility. Also, weapon-wise, if you've seen any of my other Metal Gear Let's Plays, then you know that I am primarily a tranquilizer person. I do not like to kill enemies whenever possible. It's just too much of a hassle. Even according to the game, I'm not even supposed to be killing people, yet, well, it happens. So, killing people, it brings you to a major disadvantage with this game. Primarily the fact that if an enemy finds the body, they will automatically go into an alert status, which is not good. Not good at all. They're actively looking for you. They know that there's an intruder. Whereas if you put one to sleep with a tranquilizer dart, if they see a sleeping guard, they pass it off as laziness, kick the guard, wake him up, and back on your way. Here is something a little bit funny. It's a well-known thing, but funny nonetheless. And we aim for this little guy right here. And it's a hornet's nest, which allows me to get rid of him and the guards that are proceeding across the bridge towards me. Wait here for a moment. So, Metal Gear Solid 3 is, unlike the previous two entries in the franchise, is not a game which takes place in the modern era. It is 1964, the height of Vietnam, and it's low-tech, and I absolutely love it. I love this sort of combination between Rambo and a James Bond movie. Even the theme song of this game has a very Bond-like quality to it, and the fact that you're all alone in a jungle, people actively hunting for you, definitely has a Rambo feel to it. MGS3 is probably, other than Metal Gear Solid 1 or maybe even Peace Walker, Peace Walker's pretty high on my list as well, is probably one of my favorites. In fact, I enjoy the majority of the Metal Gear games, aside from Metal Gear Solid 4, but that's not because it's a bad game, mostly just there's very little game to be played when it comes to Guns of the Patriots. I do understand how essential it is to the franchise that game actually happened, close out the Metal Gear saga. But let's see if I can knock him out. Since the last two, it was a little bit clumsy, was not getting headshots.
What's wrong?
Alright, knock him out. Let's see here. Motion detector. Let's change the camouflage real quick. I should have done that a while back for a more urban camo. Let's see. Squares works great against this particular background as it completely matches this wall here. One thing that I do give Peace Walker props for is the fact that it allows you to, while you're crouched, it allows you to move around kind of like a little crouch walk, unlike MGS3, which does not have that. MGS4 also incorporated that system. Again, skipping some of the cutscenes, a lot of... like most Metal Gear games, it's heavily story-oriented. Cutscenes can sometimes last for over an hour. The ending of Metal Gear Solid 2, for example, is, almost 2 hours long. So this game is no exception to the rule of, hey, this is kind of like an action movie. Okay, as evidenced right here, there was an action scene which involved you being ambushed and having to take down multiple men in close quarters combat. And we're actually almost done with the Virtuous mission. Without all the cutscenes, it seems like a pretty easy time to get through this. I believe my record for beating this is maybe about 3 hours and 20 minutes. With this, I'm going to try to go through it as fast as possible. In this cutscene, you are introduced to the primary antagonists of the game. You have the Cobra unit, which includes the characters the Pain, the Fear, the End, the Fury, and the Boss, who is the primary, other than Colonel Volgin, a GRU colonel. She is the primary antagonist, and probably one, in my opinion, one of the best characters in the entire franchise. Get a quick shot of them, including the End, and his weird eyes, the oldest sniper in the world, and with the Boss. Colonel Volgin being his unique ability being the fact that he's able to shoot lightning from his body. He also takes armor-piercing AK rounds and sticks them between his fingers and fires them from his fingers. Kind of intimidating and unique. Introduced to the Cure system, which on harder difficulties you will probably be a little bit more familiar with. Due to higher difficulties, you were injured a lot faster than on some of the lower ones. Let's see. Speed through this. We'll deal with that, what you just saw, that big tank, a little bit later. Asking me to save. We're already done with the Virtuous mission. 10 minutes, done. Now we get to Operation Snake Eater, which is a little bit more of When you start out, you're at a major disadvantage. You lose your primary firearm, which is a suppressed 1911. Fantastic pistol, I might add. Probably one of your best friends if you're not going to go around tranquilizing people. The 1911 is definitely your best friend. In fact, let's go ahead and not equip that suppressor since we're going to be losing it. And gather some food, which leads into the next system. Maybe if I can find a... There we go. The food system in Metal Gear Solid 3 is unique to this game. It doesn't have... It doesn't play a role in any other Metal Gear game. Acquiring food replenishes your stamina. Depending on what you eat and how good it tastes is how much stamina it replenishes. You can also even eat animals that are poisonous, which can, again, give you poisoned, and you have to use an antidote or stomach suppressants. You can also use this poison food against enemies. In certain areas, there will be ration caches, and there will also be armories. With ration caches, you can blow them up and make all the enemies in the area become hungry. Doing this allows you to feed them rotten food, throwing it in front of them. They'll get excited because it's food, and they'll eat it and start to have a stomachache and potentially die. With the armories, it's the same thing. Blow up an armory, enemies will become weaker in the area. It really is a pretty cool system. Since we don't have a gun, I'm going to go on ahead and go through and take out some of my equipment. We'll leave the motion detector in. I don't believe I'm going to need any fake death pills. I should probably change my camouflage as well. It's nighttime, so black works very well. Since we're still in a forest area, I'm going to be using a forest camo. And hiding in some brush should greatly benefit. 90% camouflaged. Knock these two men out here. Let's see if they have anything on them. Chaff grenade. And what do you have? Regular grenades. Cool. So right now we are completely disarmed. Don't really have much. No gun. All alone by yourself with stun grenades. And a survival knife. Which, let's see if we can... Well, actually, it's probably best not to take that chance. Just so that way I do not get caught. I'm going to go on ahead and... Well, that didn't work out as well as I wanted it to. There we go. Took care of him. Now, the difference between tranquilizing an enemy and knocking out an enemy with the stars above his head will make him wake up faster, and when he does, if he has a radio, which a lot of the soldiers in MGS3 do have a radio, they will go into an alert status, call for backup, and could potentially ruin your day. Some life medicine and smoke grenades. Climb across this cliff. Now let's activate our motion detector and see if there is a guard anywhere nearby. Does not appear to be a guard. So we shall proceed back to the area where we discovered the previous character, Sokolov.
Snake, huh?
Who is a weapons scientist in this game, who is building the Shagohod, a tank that can launch intercontinental ballistic missiles from any terrain with no support at all. Really, really cool weapon. Would be absolutely ridiculous in the real world, but hey, that's all part of the fantasy, isn't it? Okay. Thermal goggles in the locker. Make sure that if you're ever going to play this game to grab those. Now, during this cutscene, you are introduced to the character Eva. She is your primary contact in this game who allows you to progress a little bit further. Also, she tries to use sex appeal to woo you. Very, very 60s, very Bond-ish. Also gives you your weapon back, including a new 1911 and the Mark 22 Hush Puppy, the tranquilizer gun. She's your primary way of getting intelligence on enemy units in this game. Really good. Really, really good character. Even plays a bigger role in later games. And during the time that Snake is asleep, the Ocelot unit, led by Revolver Ocelot, a character from the other games, is surrounding the area and is about to perform a breach and clear. So let us go on ahead and take a shortcut here. Come down here, where hopefully nobody will find us. Oh, okay. Oh, that didn't work out as well as I wanted. Let's change our camo to something a little bit more suitable for urban espionage. Let's see, I will go with the squares, unless there is something better, which there is not. So we'll continue using that. And let's see, we have a guard out here. Oh, okay, so it did actually hit him. Alright, cool. Just want to be able to hit him in his upper body, and he will eventually drop. These men who were going to perform the breach and clear, they now begin patrolling the perimeter. And you will be able to find a certain spot where all four of them will progress through, and you can shoot them all in the feet. Which I believe is this place right here. All three of those men should drop very soon, as the tranquilizer will begin running through their system. Granted, there we go. Knocking out every single one of them. Now, there's only one left, and I believe it is the sniper, so we have to be very careful with this to not get caught. Okay. Let's see if we can find Mr. Sniper. Lie down and start crawling. He's on this rooftop here, and he likes to go back and forth between some corners. So let's see where he's going to pop up next. In fact, let's use our motion detector. He's on the other side of the rooftop, and it looks like he is progressing back towards his corner on this side of the building. Why not? Just another one for good measure. Make this go a little bit faster. Okay. And that does it for the Ocelot unit. This pattern works very well even on higher difficulties, in my opinion. Granted, when you're in the crawl space, make sure that you're a decent distance from the crawl space hole, so that way you can make sure that they can't peek through the hole and see you shooting at them. Be wary of that on higher difficulties. Don't want to be using the M1911, as I prefer to tranquilize. Bug juice. It can come in handy in this next part. I don't really use it, but sure, it's there. This section is actually... I'm not really too fond of this particular area because there are several crocodiles in the water. I don't like dealing with them. I don't like the fact that they're here. I don't like... I don't like them. I don't like how, you know... You pretty much have to tranquilize them and sneak past. I don't like how many of them there are in the water. I just uncomfortable around predators. Of course, crocodiles in Russia. What? So tranquilizing them, as long as you don't get too close to them, you should be fine in the water. Let's see. Go ahead and surface real quick. And let's see, we will go ahead and dive again. Let's see, here's another one swimming. Let's see, take care of him. Sneak past. I don't know, it's a small gripe. I just hate this area so much. Because here's a small lake full of crocodiles. You get a call from Eva. She lets you know that she successfully got away without being caught. So, you know, let's go down here and remove some of the leeches with our cigar. Camouflage, we're going to go back to a woodland camo. No point in using squares. Or Flecktarn. Flecktarn would be better. Now, throughout the game, you will encounter these, which are tripwires. Easily, you could just do that and trigger it, or you can even dive roll over them. Later on in the game, they start to use pitfalls, and even claymore mines, which are coming up here. The Metal Gear games being very unrealistic with claymore mines, you just crawl over them, and you don't have to worry about them anymore. So, let's see. Disable this electric fence. There's a claymore right here. Let's go on ahead and pick some of those up. They could come in handy later. Snake should be completely in pieces by now. Moving past all these claymores.
Seeing things.
And this area can be a little bit tricky. This game introduces attack dogs, which can be used to sniff you out, and they also have to use their excellent sense of hearing to hear wherever you may be running from, anywhere. Even suppressed gunshots can be heard by a dog. So, but apparently not that one. So, to continue, that is going to make a bit of a noise, and a guard is going to come to investigate, but due to the fact the dog is asleep, we shouldn't have that big of a problem. If not, we can always wait for the guard and tranquilize him. Go prone. See if we can find a little bit more of a green area. Here comes the guard. Tactical reload. There he is. Knock him out. And we'll go this way. You can go the other way, but that involves using involves going through a mud pit. Not really a fan of those. Another thing to watch out for in this game is that sometimes they'll have these those tripwires, but they'll be hooked up to cans in the trees, which will shake and jingle. Like, yes, okay. Can't. Let's see. Takes care of him. Like this tripwire right in between this tree here and cans hanging above will alert them to your presence. Which can be a very, very bad thing. Camo index is currently at 0. Well, I'm running a little bit low on supplies for my taste, so let's see if this guy has anything. Alright, some Mark 22 ammo. Always like seeing that. And a suppressor for the Mark 22. Again, suppressor's essential part of this game, in my opinion, and without this you probably couldn't beat this game with 100% stealth. Also, if you're playing on the 360 or the PS3 or even the PlayStation Vita, there's a nice gold trophy or a nice valued achievement where you go through the entire game without killing a single person. Always nice. So, here we are going to do multiple things. We are going to blow up a sitting helicopter, but that involves us going around first and taking care of some soldiers that may be posted in different areas. Like this man here is on a gun turret, so his field of vision is usually limited. We're also going to demonstrate blowing up an armory and even blowing up a food cache. Let's see. He should drop here momentarily, since it was pretty close to his head. That was really bad. Sorry. Take care of him, and there should be another man posted. Well, enter the alert phase. This is really bad. I'm trying to get up close and personal. First major screw up of the game due to my incompetence.
Not bad, eh? You won't get away from me! I never felt a tension like this.
Rations and a mouse trap. Let's see. I think we're just going to raid the armories and blow up this chopper here.
Damn! Okay.
Let's see. Pick up an AK, TNT, a lot of good stuff. A lot of destructive firepower.
Damn it. He found us.
Let's see. Head out towards this way. I believe in here we have some healing items for the cure mode. And then we leave the area. Right as soon as caution mode goes in. So, next boss battle, we are dealing with Revolver Ocelot in his younger incarnation. Go ahead and take the suppressor off, as we don't really need that. A relatively easy battle. This particular difficulty, it's fine to just stand here and, well, I should say sit with your tranquilizer gun and take him out. Tranquilizing him will award you the animals camo, which is an animal pattern. I'm not exactly sure what purpose it serves, but oh well, it's in there for the sake of being in there.